to relay.
Go, baby, go. I'm watching a rocket launch while we get ready here.
Nice.
Is that a euphemism?
Yes. Holy crap, that's sketchy. Hey, it flew.
There's this look of determination on your face that wasn't there in the rehearsals.
When this rocket took off, it did like a woo before going up. It's like, oh my god.
That's not a very promising start.
No, but
It
it
has
worked.
Oh boy. Was this
You
one
know
of those?
it's upside down, right?
I don't give a shit, Shiver. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
That was the intro for today. As you can see, we've got myself, Shiver, Nakara, Nighthawk Zale. Nighthawk Zale, you've seemingly basically become a member of Relay now, so thanks for being on
Kind
again.
of feels like it, yeah. I'm okay with it.
I've got two of these, so let's do a little bit of this. The shoulder, if only you could hear it.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Basically, yeah. Anyway, I saw, well, Shiver informed me, because I don't really do anything without Shiver, that some people were shocked, absolutely shocked that I wasn't tying my own bow tie. So I figured I'd start this week's episode by showing that I can do it without looking, because I was staring at the camera the entire time and couldn't see myself. So, bam, I can tie a bow tie. Hello and welcome to the Relay Station. We're going to talk some Star Citizen. This was a hell of a week, actually.
I think it was a pretty good week, yeah.
Fantastic.
We had a ship shape as long as ATV.
True.
We had a town hall. This week's RTV was phenomenal.
Yes, it was.
Like,
It was quite enjoyable.
it's great. There's so much information from it. So, I didn't even set this up. I forgot to do that. So let's just switch over here. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna
Okay,
Now you
can
found
one.
the
get this
record
going.
button.
One.
there we go.
Okay.
One too many.
And there we go. Is that... No, I clicked the wrong one. There. Hopefully this is the right one. I don't know why, but dance off.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start things off right.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing?
I don't know
What's going on?
I don't know what we're doing. We're just gonna talk some Star Citizen.
All right.
You know what I really liked about them starting off this week's ATV with that dance-off?
Thanks, Commander Hellfire.
I love how you say thanks with that pained voice.
Oh. Oh man. Okay.
The reason I like this dance-off at the start of ATV is because it ties in nicely to the reveal of that beautiful freaking piano that they have on the Phoenix now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really hoping that piano can be interacted with, kind of like
Oh my god.
like what the Damn Shames was talking about. They have a piano in their house, and they want to be able to jack in their USB friendly piano and actually play a piano via piano in the Phoenix.
That would be hilarious.
That would be amazing. And they're willing to stream it too. So I want to see that.
I want to see what intern at CIG is going to be sat down and go, okay, here's the deal. All right. You have to make the piano work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the animations? Yes, the animations.
Yep.
Even the black keys?
Does the character have to press the key? Yes, the character has to press the key.
It's
The right
also
key?
like-
Yes, the character has to press the
It's
right
a
key.
nice looking piano.
It really is.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was expecting something a little bit more traditional, but this is really cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Very,
It's very Phoenixy.
yeah, really ties in nicely with the line language of the interior. So
I'm interested because, I mean, one of the things that's that's been with Star Citizen almost for as long as the project is music, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you've got Pedro, who was a fan and just made fantastic music, and then, ended up making the actual music. And you've got other people like Waka, and there's a ton of people in this community.
Booth O'Reilly.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this that are in this community that are phenomenally talented musicians.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like to see them with one of these ships and one of these pianos, and you've got a party, and you've got one of them sitting there, and they've got their keyboard at home, and they're playing, and it's playing on the piano here. That would just be stupid, but also awesome.
I want to see
Stupidly
someone
awesome.
remake the famous scene from Casablanca in a Phoenix. Of all the
There's a fa-
Phoenixes
there's
and
a-
all the space towns, you had to walk into mine.
There's a famous scene in Casablanca.
Probably.
I want to see Billy Joel playing Piano Man on that.
I'll play chopsticks.
Wow. Man, that ship looks nice.
I mean, it
I mean,
really
I
is.
don't know if I need a flying mansion, but
It's not even a flying
Hey, look,
mansion.
it's there.
It's more like a flying party bus
yeah, fair enough.
because it's got
But
all
like
these
it-
different
but-
nooks and crannies for
but not
face-to-face time with other players. And
But not like a dive party bus, like a really, really,
Oh,
really
yeah.
high class party bus.
with like the appropriate limousine tags on it, the black
Do you think
exterior.
they'll have different instruments? Because I picture a harp on the Phoenix, and then you've got evil boss lair ready for the making.
I mean,
In
I would
Video
hope so.
101, Eris has episodes every episode.
This is really just a show about my episodes. Every episode. Okay.
That's right.
So
All right.
let's start
Also,
going.
I take a moment to appreciate yet again the improvements to the springy landing gear.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, so landing gear.
Does anyone else own a Phoenix here, or is it just me?
I do.
Just you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Although
So-
I will say,
never mind.
as beautiful as the Phoenix is, I'm still very much on the fence about it because it's more luxury party boat than it is a functional workman's ship. So
Yes,
I'm
very much so.
putting it out there. I already have a CCU to Crucible. I'm waiting till it's in game and I can make a hands-on judgment call about it. But I've already got the CCU just in case.
Sounds like a good hedge.
I don't even really know where this clip comes from, but I love that it seems to be a bunch of people having a foot race across
Oh,
the planet.
Yeah, they're doing
Yeah,
a
yeah.
foot race across the planet.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
fantastic.
it was another
37.8
run
kilometers.
But when the one gets to the end, someone sets off flares as the fireworks. That's brilliant. I love it.
I love it. I love it.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, this one I thought was really cool, and I wish I had heard about it beforehand, so I could have jumped in game and just watched these guys.
that I just never hear about.
Hmm.
And it's almost like they need to start telling some people or something.
Well, and
I don't know.
Damar Rally
I'm not at a
really has it down pretty good because they've got
Yeah.
most of their base covered. They put it up on Spectrum, they put it out over Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they put it over Facebook too. So they're really advertising well. And a lot of these guys who are doing these things, like Foshtar Industrial and their Shubin Shuffle, if they had a little more spotlight, just even on Twitter, let's not talk about Spectrum. If they just went on Twitter, there's a huge Star Citizen community in Twitter, and the word
there
could
is.
have gotten out really quickly, and it would have been so much fun to see so many more people there to support it.
Yeah.
But it was on ATV, so it got spotlight.
Can I
They're
just
not
say,
doing
Eris,
too bad.
don't celestial body shame. It's a moon, not a planet.
So we've got a video of them working on some UI stuff.
Yes, we do. That is a user interface, and they are working on it.
I'm interested to see how exactly this is going to come into play as a useful item for players. Because I'm liking what I see. The player character standing in front of a display in a test level, of course.
Mhm.
But I can imagine this. Think back to just before the Caterpillar dropped into the live servers, and they were talking about how they had the interactive displays on board, and they were already testing tracking of crewmates. Like,
And being able to open and close doors throughout the ship from the little control,
yeah,
from just
yeah.
the display panel.
It's going to turn out to be something really cool, and I'm excited to see what exactly we'll be able to do with this new form of interactivity.
I'm
I
also
just can't wait. I can't wait to hear a recording of the boarding audio, and they're like, close bay door 6, and the guy goes, oh no, I misclicked. You misclicked. Now our ship is gone.
I
And the
also
guy-
kind of like that. It seems like they've got
Control
the
Z,
tools-
for God's sake, man.
seems like they've got the tools to iterate on stuff really quickly, and that's one of the things that they've spent the last like 3 years doing. So it's good. It's good shit.
It's like they mentioned on Calling All Devs with the new patch coming, Stanton system expands. Even though the missions are currently procedurally generated, they still need to be made aware that there are these new locations to start from. So now they can actually, the designers can hook it up themselves rather than, go and hassle an engineer who's got other things to do just to do this. And the old method would mean every single mission has to be manually hooked up, but now it's, it's
Well,
just...
it's great
Yeah.
that they can
lines.
just the engineers have to hook the location up as a location, but then the designers get to just this here, this here, this here, and do it on
Drag
their
and
own.
drop.
Right? They don't need to. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
They're working on transit stations. Art looks pretty. I like it.
I think these are going to be really
Yep.
key, and I'm looking forward to seeing these because the size of Loreville that they're planning on releasing, I mean, we still don't know whether or not they're going to have streets available for us to drive our vehicles on. We don't know if it's going to be, just free for all, drive where you want, when you want, or if they're actually going to have some GTA style
That's actually
NPC police officers patrolling to
yeah.
kind of keep you within the rules. And so this is a really nice alternative. Like if you don't have a land vehicle, or if you just don't want to drive through the city, hop on the nearest monorail.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's actually a really good point, because if you remember, I don't even know if it was a year or two ago now, they showed us some work that they were doing on roads, right? And on getting roads on planets and procedurally
Yeah.
connecting them and stuff. So
I remember that.
I feel like they're probably going to have roads in cities as well, but I want them to not do it like GTA, because GTA, you can just drive wherever as fast as you want, and there are absolutely no consequences, period. It doesn't matter if you blow a stop sign and ram into a guy, because whatever. I would really like them to see them somehow implement like traffic laws, like you have to stop at a stop sign.
That would be. Can you imagine the reviews for Star Citizen? One of the little points under pros and cons, I'm not sure which one it would be under, would be you have to stop at
for
stop
stop
signs.
signs. That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, and it would bring in an air of the like the Euro Truck and American Truck Simulator, the game, where those games require you to do that kind of thing, and they're already building this up to be a flight simulator. So why not just add the driving simulator aspect to it as well?
Well, I mean, let's go one step beyond that, really. Why not just implement Euro Truck Simulator in Star Citizen, driving the lone road across the entirety of the planet in a truck? Because I don't really want to fly spaceships. I want to...
I mean,
Drive a truck?
that would be really interesting gameplay, because
You do know you live in Canada, right? You can just go do that.
But I'm pretty sure there are going to be players out there in the community who find a planet that they've really fallen in love with and decide that they're going to spend the majority of their playtime on that planet, and they'll look for reasons not to have to go out into space, and that would be a wonderful way for them to be able to support that style of gameplay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
I think it would be cool. I don't think they should or would get as in depth as like Euro Truck Simulator, but that'd be.
Yeah, I don't think that they should take it that far.
I hope though that you can eventually drive big rigs.
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
because Star Citizen is everything. Okay, just everything.
Do you
There's
think
a
it would be
water
like on
planet,
Earth
they
they
need
drive on the
pirate
left
ships.
side, on Terra they drive on the right?
Oh,
that's a good question. I really hope that they do that. They intermix. Do you drive on the left side or on the right side of the road? And depending on the planet, it would change. And even on planets, I mean, you could find that difference on ArcCorp just between areas 18 and 19.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun, and it would really trip up the player and force them to adapt to different surrounding.
And you know what? Just cut out the police entirety. We go straight to your car is monitored via GPS at all times, and if you speed, automatic ticket.
Okay.
So truck stops.
I'm gonna say I love this part because I'm actually getting kind of excited for the truck stops.
You're only just now kind of getting excited for them?
Well, they were so far off for a long time, but I always loved seeing parts about them. But then they were like, "Wow, someday we're gonna figure this out." But we know it's coming pretty soon, and
the
I love
one looks
that they
so
have,
cool.
Yeah,
Like,
I love that they have a whole bunch of different designs shown here, and they're already looking at the different designs. And
it really reminds me of you remember I think it was a couple of years ago now when they were first showing the new modular tech that they were designing for comm arrays.
Yeah.
You really see that reflected on the exteriors of these truck stops now. Like for the longest time they were only talking about the modularity of the interiors, but now just with this lineup you're seeing the variation in exteriors as well. And so you know that when you fly up to a truck stop, even in silhouette, you'll be able to tell what sort of services are available at this particular truck stop and whether or not this is the truck stop you need.
Yeah.
Also, just to remind people of all the among all the other things we're getting in 3.3, we're getting this too. It's only 5 weeks away, 6 weeks away.
I'm stoked.
6 weeks away.
Goodbye, Port Olisar.
Oh, I'm sure it'll still be there.
In our memories, I hope.
No, it'll still be there.
VoIP.
I think they'll redo it someday, but I don't think it's soon.
Oh, that would be a cool idea. A mom and pop fuel station Astro. That would be pretty cool. It's 13 clicks outside of Grim Hex, and if you're not willing to pay up front before you get your services, then they just triple the cost.
Serves up a neon hot dog.
Yeah. And a Slurpee.
Yeah.
You gotta have the Slurpee.
I mean, the VoIP stuff looks great. I mean, it looks good. It looks like it'll probably be a bit ridiculous, and people will be able to make it do stupid things.
But that's half the fun.
Yeah.
That's half the fun. Either purposely doing stupid things or just flat out forgetting that you left it on.
The largest ball of Xi'an wax in the galaxy. Yes. Oh, God.
I could think of a couple people who might be interested.
Do you think VoIP, though, it will, it's going to first come out, everyone's going to think it's great, we're all going to do stupid faces with it, and then after a month or two, no one gives a shit after that anymore, go back to whatever, probably don't even bother with VoIP, and which do you think will happen?
I mean, so personally, I think if there are a few technical bugs that cause VoIP to be not as great as everyone expects it to be, everyone should expect that it's going to have bugs on its first drop. But I can definitely see that causing a lot of people to just lose interest in it. But what I can also see is that it's a lot of fun and people really enjoy it. And like you said, 2-3 months down the road, it just becomes a regular part of the game. And so like some of the, you remember when they changed up the flight mechanic and they made it so that for the first time ever, you could switch between, shit. Now I'm totally blanking. Not the IFCS, the,
ASP?
I No. Where you can, damn it, I'm forgetting the name right now. Decouple. Thank you very much, Flint Dragon. God. When they first dropped Decouple, everybody was flipping out over it because you can finally move in one direction and retain your momentum and change the bearing of your ship. And after a while, it's one of those features. Yeah, it's been there for so long. What's the big deal? Who cares? It's just a part of how you fly the ship, or you don't fly the ship. And I think it's going to be the same thing. With FOIP, you're either going to have it turned on or you're going to have it turned off. You're going to see a lot of people using it, and you're going to see a lot of people not using it. And it's just over time going to become one of those major features that just sort of gets overlooked due to familiarity. I don't think it's something people are crazy for over and over.
I think it would be great. I really want to use it personally when I'm playing. One of the things that Flint Dragon says in chat, because it's going to have built-in track IR, that is a good advantage of it, of the face tracking, being able to track just without anything else, right? With a webcam, which most people have. That's
absolutely
great. That is valuable, and I think that's going to be good for that. There are things that I worry about FOIP for, though, because, and not as much for me, but talking for a friend. One of the ideas of FOIP is the ability for other people, for everyone to be talking on FOIP in game, and one of the things that has always brought to mind is the ability for someone else to hack into your comms and listen in, or get your data and stuff from you, right? And I don't know if I want someone listening in to some of the things that some of the people I know talk about in private voice chat.
But that's what Discord's for.
But that's what people talk about. If you're saying something incriminating, you're talking about those kids you hide in your basement. Just switch over to your normal voice chat for that. Don't talk about that through Star Citizen.
No, just even just for, I don't know. It's, I don't know.
I look forward to when someone forgets about it and you hear them. You just see the meeting. You just see this character going like that, and like a mouth like a washing machine, just standing there. It's like, what's he doing? Oh, he's eating his dinner.
That would be funny. Why are you making faces? I'm being serious right now. We're under attack.
Okay. Astropub's saying that you won't be able to hack VoIP comms, which, good. Because I remember them talking about that a long time ago, but I'm hoping that they realize that it's not the greatest plan.
So maybe it's only text-based.
Yeah.
And if it's text-based, that's good, because then that feeds into the whole data hacking and data info running and everything else.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how it actually ties into everything else, and whether when you're on FOIP it's always on. Like, is it going to be always on in your vicinity, or will it be just me and my friends talking and people around us can't hear it? Like, there's a lot. I don't know what they want to do. Yeah, and can you
imagine that, walking into Earth and there's this busy hub and everyone's talking at you already, and you've got the NPCs there as well, and you're like, oh my god, shut up!
I can't. I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah.
But then that's one of the things.
It takes a lot of bandwidth too.
That's one of the things that was supposed to make FOIP more interesting and more valuable, was the integration into the rest of the game. So I'm interested to see how they're going to make it worthwhile. And oh god, some people's mics are ass. Hey, yeah, just
You like VR chat?
What if they offer you credits as you use FOIP in game? You slowly get credits for using FOIP, or they're gonna have to incentivize it somehow, and I'm just not sure how they're going to incentivize it. That's all.
Well, I think one of the ways to do it would be that, it's like working Discord when you're playing the game right now. If you're in a multi-crew ship and you have people in different positions, like we were saying with turrets in the last few episodes, it requires a high level of communication. If in some way, shape, or form it's faster to use the in-game VoIP than it is to use Discord, then that's going to make a big difference, especially for people who are interested in combat. You know, they have to have that millisecond difference, because if pilot doesn't know that they're supposed to roll left instead of roll right, then turrets can't stay on target. They're going to get blasted out of the sky, and it's a big issue for everybody.
Yeah,
You've also got other views, like, say, because I'm more combat orientated, which means at some point I may have to team up with another merc group or whatever. And I don't want to give these complete strangers my Mumble address, but I want to talk to my usual crew on Mumble. But then I can also communicate with both at the same time. You know, one through the in-game, one through my normal Mumble server.
Yeah.
I mean, the Astropub's got a good point for like just using it for negotiation or random interaction. I know a number of my friends have different keybinds. They still use push to talk, and they'll push to talk one button for Discord and push to talk another button for, you know, in-game PUBG chat, so that they can scream obscenities while in the plane before taking off, because they're infants. But
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what they do more with VoIP.
Well, I think another thing that would really incentivize people to use this versus Discord as the continued example would be that Discord still has individual channels, and you would have to go back into Discord and change channels. Whereas if they had some tiered system like TeamSpeak offers, then it becomes a lot easier. So you could have a command channel, and then you can have a TAC Ops channel, and you could have engineering channels, and the command channel, whoever has access to that channel is able to switch back and forth between those.
Yeah.
And then those individuals who are specifically dedicated to those individual departments stay within their own channels, and that really will help.
You can do that in Discord as well, just by assigning people roles right now, right? So I'd imagine when CIG gets Spectrum up and running in a fully functional manner, you might be able to assign people, you know, different ranks, and the ranks have different channels that they're allowed to go to or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on a little bit. They talked a little bit more about mining and making mining a little more difficult and risky-ish.
More difficult?
Well, more instabilities in rocks, but the laser is more stable, if that makes any sense.
More mechanics.
Okay.
Actually,
More
honestly,
variables.
it's not that difficult if the server's stable. But if the server's not doing very well, then you end up getting this like lag between your inputs and when you actually see the difference in the laser. And that's kind of that can cause you to blow things up a lot.
I think they were also saying that they were going to be changing the difficulty based on the materials that are being mined from the rock.
Yeah.
And so those more rare, high value materials are going to be a lot harder to mine, and so you have to have that super fine control over the mining laser and the extraction laser as well.
That's actually already in there. That's how it works
to an extent, but they were saying that they wanted to enhance that even more, because right now the numbers are there, and it does take a little more time to do it, but there's no real difference in terms of mining laser control. You know, you could still power it up all the way and you throttle back and forth, and it's just a difference in time, not so much in how you're actually cutting apart the rock. And I think they wanted to try and focus it a bit more on how you control the laser and how you cut apart the rock to get those materials out either faster or slower. You get more of it versus blowing up too much of it, all of that. So
anybody else notice that they made turboless?
Yeah.
Yes. I thought it was a little weird though when it moved from one end to the other and then started going up and did that like corkscrew twist thing and then moved into place. Why don't just put a door on each side? Wouldn't that be easier?
You want to do corkscrew twist maneuvers.
Elevators with doors on both sides are ugly.
They might be ugly, but at least you don't have to deal with the G-forces throwing player characters around, because if it's moving too quickly, you know.
Everyone's
know.
some
It
shit.
makes me question. Now,
Oh,
I probably am thinking too much into things as I do, but they have said that ships will have elevators, and I can't see something like the Bengal or something like that not having elevators. So what if you're
Right.
under attack and you're in the elevator, and will there be consequences? Can the power run out? Can you jimmy your way out? Can
I
I
hope so.
do the Star Trek Next Generation episode Disaster in a Bengal,
Where they have
in
to
a Bengal
climb
carrier?
out
Yes.
through the shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
singing
I really
Frere
hope
Jacques though.
Okay, we've got to talk about two more things before we can get
Only
to questions. Well, two main ones before we can get to questions. So one, ask us your questions. Let me just take a look at
We need questions.
Let me take a look at the question sheet. We need to start a new sheet. This one's getting a little long.
We're being
Yes.
asked if we're drinking booze. I am drinking Coke Zero. It looks like Nighthawk Zale is drinking water. What are you drinking,
Vodka.
Shiv?
I've got an empty coffee cup.
Ooh, wow. So you're drinking air.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I still
What
got
do
some
you-
of the Jaeger in the corner.
what do you have today, Eris?
I am currently drinking a local beer, a local company's Stray Dog. It's a California Common. It's called This One. So I'm drinking this one.
Nice.
But I'm almost done that. So in a moment, I'm going to open up a good old Sapporo.
Nice.
Because I love me some Sapporo. We've actually got a few questions, which is good. So let's move on to talking about the big news of the week. Let's be honest. The Mercury.
I got mine.
Yeah? Who? Okay.
Yeah.
Chat, who got yourselves a Mercury? I want to know. I want one.
Am I the only one of us?
No one got
chat,
the Mercury.
Chat got them.
All right.
Yeah.
There you
chat,
go.
Okay. Yeah.
No, there were a lot of people who said that they love this ship.
This is
Like lots.
This is one of the nicest looking ships in a long while.
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
it is.
This is
Do you
this
wanna
is
know
originally
It's asymmetric.
And because it
I was
looks
going to
a-
say because Sarah
a
McCullough
little-
designed it.
well,
that's what I was
yeah.
going to say too.
This is
because-
she did some work originally. This is the first time she's worked. Sorry, Eric. But this is the first time she's worked on the whole ship on the outside. She has done work before in like Starfarer engine interior. She did some work on that. But this is the first ship she's been exterior whole thing
Completely.
that she's worked on.
Yeah.
And she does a lot of the weaponry which you've seen in sneak peeks.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wait, what freelancer dream, Tilu? I have no memory of anything. I like the looks of this ship. I'm considering melting a couple things for it. It's got a chess table.
I think it also does remind people at least slightly of the Millennium Falcon. I think that influences things a little bit.
Honestly, I have to kind of agree with Minion Soldier on this. I don't see as much of the Millennium Falcon in the actual bodywork as I do the Ebon Hawk. I think it reads a little more Ebon Hawk than Millennium Falcon, but very clearly from the first showing of the concept artwork, before we got any confirmation that Sarah was actually working with the Millennium Falcon as a reference material, that it read Millennium Falcon or another ship like it, and it's excellent from beginning to end. They covered every single aspect of what it's supposed to be, and I'm pretty sure this is more the kind of ship that Chris was hoping for when they first launched this project and introduced the Constellation, because Chris Roberts was always saying at the start of this project, oh yeah, for those of you who want the Millennium Falcon experience, you guys want a Constellation.
Yeah.
But now, get the Merc.
So I think that its role is heavily influenced by the Millennium, the Falcon, or that ship.
You just say.
Not at all. Or that ship from Star Wars Rebels.
You know what's funny too is Sarah McCullough was mentioning that part of the inspiration was also from the Normandy.
No.
Battlestar Galactica.
Stop it.
What?
Homeworld.
If you took a full-sized Normandy and squashed it into the space that the Mercury takes up,
It would be broken. So what he means to say is it looks much more like the Higaran Interceptor from Homeworld series.
I was just gonna say that the color scheme and the lines and stuff really reminded me of the Normandy.
I could see that. Like the main body, not so much the area
Maybe
that
if it-
extends out to the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah,
Only if the size was shrunk down a little bit.
maybe because it got squished.
Yeah. I don't know why no one else said that.
Oh. I was actually, I gotta point this out because I don't know. Apparently, my ego demands it. Sylveon in the chat said, "What the hell is an aluminum falcon?" And I was quite proud of my response that the Falcon 9 is an aluminum falcon.
I love this ship. It looks like a tiny Normandy. I want one. I'm gonna see if I can find enough stuff to melt for it. The most interesting thing about this ship, though, is to me not the ship itself or the ship shape or anything else. To me, it's that this week's RTV was a town hall dedicated almost entirely to questions about this ship and about smuggling, and we got so much information. Like the RTV this week is an hour long. Seriously, go watch it because it's an hour of fantastic information. The Mercury can collect data from other ships. You could hide somewhere and listen in on someone else's data transfer, steal that data, and then run it to somewhere faster to sell it because you have to physically transfer data from computer to computer.
Yeah.
So you're not able
5
to
onboard computers, by the way.
5 onboard computers. That it'll be able to transfer it fast, right? It's got multiple smuggling compartments, and AI will know to check one or the other, or maybe all of them. You have no idea when they're checking you. And they talked about how you can smuggle and smuggling different things inside crates that are marked as different things, and like just there's so much good info in this week's RTV. For those of you that are lazy and don't want to watch it, which, I mean, you should go watch it. But if you really don't want to watch it, there is this site I've heard of, relay.sc. They do have a quick summary of all of the main points of the RTV if you want to just go over that instead. But it's a great RTV. Fantastic.
Sylveon, in case you haven't watched this RTV yet, they actually do answer a question very much like that. I know it's a joking question, but it was a legitimate question asked. You can, in fact, smuggle persons within the ventilation smuggling system. It is pressurized. It has an atmosphere. They said you wouldn't be able to smuggle them in any form of comfort, but that you could, in fact, do that. And Sarah McCulloch, in a later question that was posed, was able to explain that standard crew is 2 persons, but it can accommodate up to 3. So you can, when you're going into a customs location, you can actually declare your crew. And if you choose not to declare a 3rd crewman, that 3rd crewman could hide down in the smuggling vents and work on moving smuggled items around, potentially without anyone knowing. Also,
Disposable Hero, there is a point, because not everyone knows that it's a smuggler's ship. It's kind of like the Cutlass. The Cutlass is not 100% a pirate's ship. It's a cheap cargo hauler that is able to fend for itself. It's not a pirate ship. It is a cargo hauler that can fend for itself and doesn't cost a lot.
And
the official purpose of this ship, they actually talked about this in the RTV, funnily enough.
They did.
The official purpose of the compartments is many ships will actually have storage compartments. They're for storing spare items. So you've got your cargo space.
Specifically.
Spare parts.
Yeah.
It's
it's brilliant.
Your shield generator has a broken power coil. Well, guess what? you don't have your power coils taking up spare space in the cargo hold. You have your power coils in a spare compartment near where they're needed. So most ships will have tiny little spare compartments. It's just that the compartments on the Mercury happen to be a little bit larger, a little bit better concealed, maybe shielded, and you can maybe stuff a couple child bodies in them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That one came out wrong.
It's really well thought out.
The child, not the statement.
I'm just picturing the guy who, if he is hiding on there and he gets discovered, you open up, he's like, "Excuse me."
I just love the love how fascinated Sarah McCullough was with trapping people in these storage compartments.
Yep.
That was pretty
Do you
interesting.
not remember what she said? She had the idea of being a Black Widow, of just luring players to her and then devouring and stealing them, and it's like she's found a way.
She has found a way.
Smuggle woman. It's like Garbage Woman, but a smuggler. Not to be confused with Snuggle Woman.
No comment. All right.
So there's something else we need to talk about.
Kind of. Oh, okay.
I'm forgetting the name of it right now. The thing that they update every week that tells us
Roadmap.
Yes, thank you.
That doesn't get updated every week.
You know what?
Well, most weeks.
So there was a roadmap update.
Yes.
Nakara, would you like to?
Okay. I'm gonna try and keep this shorter this week.
Yeah.
Last week it was super long because they changed the entire damn roadmap. Anyway, only thing that was moved this week: manual repair was renamed to Repair Version 1 and was moved from 3.5 to 3.6. Not 100% sure about this, but I suspect there might be a few additional features going along with that. So instead of just the paw, it might actually have some other repair features. Okay. The most important part, though, is they managed to finish an extra 11% of 3.3 this week. They're up to 56% complete. This includes being very nearly done OCS. The 4 component parts of OCS are 84, 97, 95, and 90% complete. And they actually made 74% progress, going from 5% complete to 79% complete on one of the mission givers. And yeah,
Nice
that's
jump.
most notable.
So we're not getting 3.3 till CitizenCon.
Yeah,
Isn't
Citizen
the mission
Con
giver
will be the
thing-
release.
Is that an example of they've already done 2, 3, however many mission givers already, and now it's a lot simpler for them to say, well, we know we did this in the past, so we can just put that over, change that there, put that there, and there we go, done.
That's my guess, yeah.
So can we go back to the Mercury really quickly? Because there's something that we overlooked entirely. Sure. In one of the concept pieces, they have a Mercury sitting on a platform next to a star lifter.
Yes.
And if you look really closely, in between the two of them, there's a kind of ship that we haven't seen before. It's it looks like it's an Argo with the tail of a helicopter. Like it could be some sort of cargo transport, like planet-side cargo transport that takes items from the spaceport to storefronts and back. And I thought that was really interesting because I've never seen that before. Are you guys able to pull that up? Because
I have the image.
I think it's worth sharing.
Do you want the image, David?
I think he's looking for it.
Let me do some
Cargo movers.
Let me do some manipulating magic.
I honestly think that's worth taking at because I thought it was pretty cool that they threw something in there that we haven't seen before, or at least that I haven't seen before.
So it's this thing right in the center that you're talking about, I suppose?
Yeah, it looks like a 1 or 2 man Blackhawk. or even like a small version of the Chinook, where it's just got the cockpit, and then it's got the empty body where it has the crane space, and it looks like it's meant for just hauling cargo from spaceport to storefront and back.
Yeah,
probably. It might even be completely autonomous.
Power loader, two giant fists.
I thought it was really cool. Definitely worth
That is neat.
mention.
I like it. or is it a
forklift? Sportclift.
You know, there was a long debate about that. It started on Twitter and then moved into Discord, and I zoomed in until it was practically nothing but pixels, and it really does look like something that flies, not so much a forklift ground vehicle. I know.
I'm sorry. All I know is CIG have for a long time snuck other vehicles into concept art, fuel trucks and various things, luggage trucks for the Starliner, the Genesis. So, yeah, it could be just about anything, really.
The ground mining vehicles in that vertical slice for S-42.
Yeah.
When they were going through the trenches, you saw those vehicles off to the side abandoned.
Yep.
They had those really crazy multiple teeth things. It would look like something out of Total Recall.
I think we're going to see a lot soon. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. Okay. That means it's time for the questions. We've got a lot of questions.
Question period.
Wow. Well done. These are all today? No, the first two of these are from last week, and then we're on to current ones. So last week, Rivals asked, with the information you have, how much do you think is left for Squadron 42?
About this much.
That's a year, isn't it?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on what ruler you're holding at the time. It could be metric, it could be imperial.
Do you have a banana for scale?
Chronological.
There's AUs.
A Mobius loop amount.
I don't think we have the appropriate information to make an estimate. Yeah, I'm gonna go with what Nighthawk Zale said. About this.
So, I realized an interesting thing this week. Just so you know, that was completely unintentional.
Oh my! No, it wasn't.
No, it was.
I don't believe you.
I was talking and reading what Sylveon said. Thanks, Relay, and I was just like, I realized, completely unintentional. If you want to hear me sing Hamilton, you got to go back to last week, because last week my intro was a Star Citizen take on Hamilton, and it was fantastic. So I realized something. What did I realize? Right. There are two games that I'm looking forward to above all others. One is Star Citizen. The other is Mountain Blade Bannerlord. Can you guess which has been in development longer?
Mountain Blade Bannerlord.
Yeah, it bloody has.
Yep.
So, I think that Star Citizen is about as far away from release as Mountain Blade Bannerlord.
Which again, we don't know.
We don't know.
That's not that. I'm sure that comment is never going to turn around and kick you in the ass when it releases next week. Suddenly,
I know that Mountain Blade is going to release in a couple months, but
Actually, that's a good question. Speaking about other video games, non-Star Citizen, Gamescom just happened.
Yeah.
Did you see anything that interested you? I know for myself personally, I'm very excited for this new Atlas fence game, the new Star Fox for the Switch.
Oh yes. Yes, it's for the Switch. It's actually for all the consoles.
Actually,
it's their new monetization. Sell ships and parts of ships that click together, and then you got the ship and you get to fly.
And it's an entire star system too, so that's going to be really interesting.
A Star
Open
Atlas,
world?
I think.
Star Atlas, yes.
Looks very interesting.
Anyone else?
But how much is left for them to do on Squadron 42? We have no idea. They
know
haven't.
it's
We
at
might-
least a year out.
We
from
might
this point,
find
because-
out. We might find out at CitizenCon. Might.
Mm.
They're supposed to give us a schedule at some point when they stop being so terrified.
They're
of it.
going to give us a schedule when they're about a year out. My utmost
What if
hope.
CitizenCon is they completely ignore Squadron 42 for that the whole thing, and then like the last keynote address from Chris, he says, "All right, thank you all for coming. It's been brilliant. Oh, Squadron 42 roadmap is now live. It's about a year away." And then
No,
gone.
they're not going to be
That's
able
it.
to do that.
Yeah.
No, they won't be able to,
Mic
because do
drop.
you remember the last time that Chris dropped a release date for Squadron 42 and he said coming 2016?
Well, they have said that the roadmap
I think that
is
was the
going to
last
be a
time he
year.
actually gave a release date for anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're going to say, okay, we still don't have a release date. This is what we're missing. Here's the roadmap. We think we're about a year out, but you can follow the development through the roadmap with weekly updates, and you will know it's done as soon as we do as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to have to do. They can't release a release date. They're going to say, we still don't know how long it's going to take. This is what's left to do, and you can follow it with us and be a part of the journey to Squadron 42.
Yeah, and I think a
it's a shame
roadmap
they're
would be a
doing
great
it.
idea.
Yep.
I think it's a shame they're doing it a year out with the roadmap when they could make it just 42 weeks roadmap.
They could. We'll see what they do. Okay, next question. Tilu last week asked, what would your dream actor pick? Or what would be your dream actor pick to add to the next Squadron chapter or an or a standalone story? For Tilu, it's Nathan Fillion. Let's do a round.
Oh man.
Let's do a
Nathan
round.
Fillion.
Shiver.
Damn it.
Malcolm McDowell. Malcolm McDowell!
Nakara?
Well, mine was Nathan Fillion, but he already said that. So I'm gonna say Terry Crews.
Nice.
It's a good one.
That's a good one.
I've got three.
Okay, go.
Nathan Fillion, which was already said.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds and Cumberbatch, because I would love to hear Cumberbatch's voice coming out of one of these
that'd be good.
characters.
He's a good voice actor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna say David Tennant, or
It's another.
any one of the Chris's.
Any one of the Chris's.
Yeah.
That
Like Chris Pratt,
Chris Pratt,
Evans.
Chris Evans,
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris
there are
Pine.
so many Chris's,
Chris
so
Pine,
I'm
yeah.
just saying any of the Chris's.
Oh, you know who would be amazing too, especially since he seems to be coming back to sci-fi.
Yes, Preach Man.
Patrick,
Preach
Patrick
Man.
Stewart.
Yeah,
Patrick
Patrick
Stewart.
Stewart
Patrick
would be
Stewart
awesome.
would be great. Preach
Alan
Man
Tudyk
with
would
Alan
be another
Tudyk.
good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
Alan Tudyk was the chicken in Moana. If you
Yeah.
can do that, you can do anything.
Did you know that he was also in Wreck-It Ralph?
Brian Blessed's a good
Yes,
one.
he was.
Alan Tudyk
Yes, he
is
was.
in Wreck-It Ralph. He's the evil guy.
Yep.
Okay, next question. Brivals, how do you think that voice chat will be? In helmet, you can choose who you talk to, but out of helmet, it's proximity chat. That would actually be pretty good.
That would be pretty interesting.
I'd like that.
I would like that too, because then when you're in your helmet, you could control the comms channels through the Moby Glass.
Yeah.
And it's just one more reason to be using your Moby Glass. And yeah, the proximity stuff, they've been talking about that for a long time. And I don't really understand how proximity would work when you're wearing a helmet. I mean, you basically have to be shouting through the glass. And that would just be awkward. Yes.
Yeah.
We hamster? Yes.
Yeah.
Pee-wee Herman. We need Pee-wee Herman.
No,
in
you
the
know
game.
who I want to see? Me. I want to get my face scanned. I want to be in squad. Brivals asks another one. What type of headphones are you guys using? I just got the Sennheiser Game 1 open back, and they're great.
Sennheiser for life, man. Amazing. So, these are, as you can see, Sennheiser. Sennheiser HD 598. And then I added on a mod mic. Mod mics are amazing. Very good audio quality. And usually better audio quality than like a gaming headset mic.
Yeah. Sennheiser HD 380 and a Shure. SM58? No. Can't remember what it is, but manual microphone because the audio is better.
Right now I'm rocking Turtle Beach P22s, but I've also got a newer mic, and the brand is called Newer. And when I use the microphone, I've got a pair of Bear Dynamics DT770s. But I've had those since I was in film doing sound editing, so those are a couple of years old. But god damn, the sound quality is amazing.
These headphones, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm just using crappy old Panasonic RF 120s. I don't live in headphones. I've got a really nice speaker system because I want the neighbors to hear it.
So these ones are normally pretty expensive. Well, they're not terrible. When I got them, the regular price was around $300 or $400. It's now about $200 Canadian. I'm talking Canadian here because I'm in Canada. I got them on sale on Amazon for like $100 on a Boxing Day sale. And then I was like,
do that.
And then I just threw the mod mic on, so I managed to create what is actually a really fantastic gaming headset for like $160 or $170.
Tilu asks, I want to move us along because we've actually got we've got a lot of questions, Eric.
No.
Look at them all.
Okay, fine. Go.
Tilu asks, we have yet to see manned missile turrets. Any thoughts on that?
That would be cool.
I don't think it would. I don't think we need them.
Only problem with that is, even if they're 2 missiles and 2 missiles, how do you reload?
See, no, okay, so
wait,
no, not manned missile turrets, but I could definitely go for.
Yeah.
Why am I not allowed to talk?
Sorry,
Mr. David. Come on.
Because I'm an ass.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on.
Astropub beat me to it. Vanguard. It's got the manned rocket launcher turret.
Yeah, I was gonna say manned rocket launchers would be way cooler than manned missile turrets. Missiles are guided.
Yeah.
You want the rocket launcher, the dumb rockets that just go straight. That'd be fun.
How are you going to hit something with dumb rockets that go straight unless you're firing rockets at something like an Idris? But
you have to be really good.
You got to get the timing just right and pull it off while they're making their strafing run.
Yeah, I am 100% a bully. Ronan42 asks, do you think that FOIP will be great for content creators? For example, fan movies. Yeah,
I think so.
I can't wait to be able to do this podcast in game with FOIP.
Yep.
Yeah,
totally.
and that's part of the RP community. So it's really going to feed into a lot of stuff, not just content creation.
Yep. Ronan42 also asks, what are your expectations for CitizenCon? Alcohol.
Yes. And shenanigans. We tend to do those too.
Actually, the Astropub is in here. My expectations are that the Astropub is going to find us a place to have some Texas like barbecue, so that we can eat our weight in beef.
Pretty much.
And pork.
Pretty much.
That's guaranteed.
Wait.
You've
eaten your weight in beef?
What reason is there to go to Texas other than barbecue?
I have literally no other reason.
Remember the Alamo.
They've got really good steakhouses.
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier, born on a mountaintop, Tennessee, reign of Spain in the land of the free. Killed him a bar. I always thought that he killed a full bar of people, and then I realized that they were saying bear with a southern accent. Factoid for you. Moving on.
I hear in Texas, it's very much like how restaurants do lobster. You pick out the cow you want, and they slaughter it in frnt of you.
Sounds like Calgary.
Oh, no, wait, that was a Simpsons episode. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Same thing. Shattenturd asks,
shit.
freelancer or star runner, and why? Freelancer, obviously.
Oh, that's a hard question. They're both really nice ships, but I'm going to go with the Freelancer because it's a class. I want and the Max too. You need the big booty.
Miss. I
need
want
the
those
4
missiles.
You got to have the 4 engines. Come on.
I want my 90 missiles.
Yeah, that thing's freaking ridiculous.
Oh. Can't wait. Nighthawk?
I'm going to go with the Mercury. I mean, I'm going through my comparison chart on the ship matrix right now, and they're really close to one another in terms of what they're capable of doing. The Freelancer can carry one more crewman than the Mercury can, but the Mercury can go a little faster, and it can go further because it's got that extra quantum fuel tank. It seems like
the DUR.
That's true. Yeah, I'm just going off of the base model.
Yeah,
and it seems like it's got a slightly more potent armament on it, but I'm also thinking that the Mercury might have slightly better armor in terms of the trade-off between the two. They both have really a lot to offer, but for me, I don't want to have a ship that can really only be good at cargo hauling. I like the idea of the Mercury being able to do data trade and a few other things as well. So I got to go with a Mercury.
Shiver?
Freelancer, for me, it's the amenities that are available on the Freelancer that the Mercury may not necessarily have. Toilet, bed. I don't know if the Mercury's going to have a bed or not, but...
It's got a habitation room with 3 beds, they said.
Yeah. Okay, Tilu asks...
toilet wins it.
Oh, God. This is a long one. 1 second. A new ship released with a custom decal skin, but I still wonder about our ability to paint ships like they had shown a while back. How do you think that we'll do that in-game? Will there be a basic paint shop, having to unlock colors with quests, etc.? Or do you think it could fall into the usual MMO-esque, you paid extra content for customization, for example, Mech Warrior Online, Planetside, War Thunder, etc.?
I think we're probably going to see a bit of both. You know, if there's a particular themed skin that you're interested in, you could probably just purchase it through the store. But then I wouldn't be surprised if you were also able to take it into a shop, and it's one of those specialty shops where all they do is create body colors for ships, and then you can probably sit down with them and to some extent say, I want this color on this part, I want this color on this part, and I want it to be patterned in such a way. That I don't know if it'll go any more detailed than that, but I can definitely see them doing both.
Honestly, I think you'll just have an interface where you'll just assign colors or patterns to body panels, and then your ship will disappear into a thing to be painted.
I'd like to see
charging for custom decals. If you want your own personal decal, or you want your corporation, whatever, to have its own custom decal, you have to pay for that to be uploaded, approved, and then you can have it on at no extra cost because you've already uploaded it. But if you want a new one entirely, pay again.
I would like to see 2 things. One, a series of basic colors that you can choose from for your ship, right? Fairly basic. You can choose to have like reds or greens or blues or whatever, the base colors. But that's all the choice you get. And you maybe can choose 1 or 2 parts. But then orgs can apply and probably pay in-game money or even out-of-game money to have org-specific paint jobs that like they give out to other org members, and org members can buy and paint that logo on their ship. I would like to see and not only for orgs, but also for when you leave the UEE, you get like a military veteran skin paint customization that only people who have actually made it through the UEE and left it get. That kind of stuff, or like text.
I completed Squadron 42, and all I got was this lousy decal.
Exactly, but I'd like to see orgs be able to apply for that, and possibly even get some in-game profit off of the people that are buying their ships, the ship skins for them. I don't know, but yeah.
Next question is how many of you would use the Mercury just as your regular going to town ship? Nighthawk?
I mean, I could see myself using it pretty regularly. It's got accommodations to allow up to 3 people to do long duration hauls in the ship. So I would think that it would have the basic habitation needs. I'm sure it's got a kitchen in there somewhere. They didn't have it labeled in the brochure or on the shots in the interior when it was discussed either in ATV or RTV. But because it's meant to be able to do those longer runs, I would think that you can make a buck, either running data or running cargo or doing some basic trade just right there off the ramp.
It's pretty cool to see a ship that's actually capable of both things. Cargo running or data running or both simultaneously.
96 SCU cargo in the rear?
Yeah.
It's quite competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, I was actually just going to
so.
take a look at the ship matrix and figure out where it's at. But
I already have the ship matrix up for, and I'm looking at a comparison between the Mercury, the Cutlass Black, the base Freelancer, and the Connie Andromeda. So at 96 SCU for the Mercury, you're looking at 46 with the Cutlass Black, 66 with the Freelancer base model, and 96 with the Connie Andromeda.
So it's exactly the same as the Andromeda.
It's right there. And then the big difference between the Mercury and the Andromeda is that the Andromeda is considered to be of large size, whereas the Mercury is small. Or medium, pardon me. So you get medium and large jump gates, whereas the Galatian probably only go through large jump gates. And it's got a higher top speed, 215 for the Mercury and 190 for the Connie. And then at max afterburn, you're looking at 910 for the Connie and 1050 for the Mercury. So right there, you already got some.
Question for something that I'm actually not sure on. Is the Freelancer still considered small?
No,
it's
medium. Labeled medium.
Medium.
As is the new Cutlass Black.
Yeah. There are very few small ships. They're like the single seaters.
TD raises a good point that the Connie comes with the snub fighter.
It does.
Wow,
yeah.
And it actually can. And it can actually defend itself, whereas the Mercury might not be able to do a great job.
The Mercury is a data runner. It's not an all-rounder, right?
It's really meant to go off of its agility and its ability to move rather than being able to just blast the opponent out of the sky. And you also have to consider with the P-52 Merlin, it gets all of its metrics directly transmitted to it from the constellation, so it has to stay within range of the constellation. If you go out of the range of out of range of the mothership, it loses all of its telemetry and even to an extent some of its targeting capabilities. It has no quantum drive, it has no jump drive, it is 100% tethered to the mothership.
Yeah, I think that the Freelancer needs a boost since it was supposed to be the smallest or the largest ship capable of using small jump points.
Well, and for all we know, because they haven't really done any design work for jump gates yet, we might be able to use some of these medium ships in small jump gates. We're just guessing based on size names.
Okay, so Actuality asks, even if OCS comes into the game in 3.3, do you all think that Hurston will also come into the game in 3.3?
Yes.
Yes.
If OCS is in, Hurston's in.
Yep.
Yeah, because they need a way to test OCS, and they can't really do that without having another planet and its orbiting satellites.
Yeah.
They're tied together. So, on the same note, if for whatever reason they can't get OCS into 3.3, Hurston won't be in there either. They cannot get it in without OCS. So they're basically inextricably linked together.
Yeah. A ham sandwich asks, considering the detail that they're adding to places like Hurston, how much interaction and what kind of shops are you expecting in the first version of Loreville?
I have to say, I'm actually quite amazed at how much interaction we're getting from a ham sandwich. Anyway.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of the shops that we already have on locations in game. The parts shops, the armor shops, the weapon shops. You're probably going to see some shops that are going to start offering things like ships, like Astro Armada. You may not be able to make purchases yet, but they're definitely going to be there, and I'm hoping that they're going to do the same for ground vehicles as well. Clothing. Did I say clothing? I think I said clothing.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking about clothing. They could open a generic clothing store like, we've got on ArcCorp right now. But then as work on Lorville progresses, they can, for Hurston, sorry, they can bring in its own line of shopping to make it more personalized rather than, every shop is the same in the Stanton system.
And then, to go even further, if you've been to Levski and you walk around the little market that they have there, they have Green Grocer, they have a fisherman's shop, they have different kinds of food stands, bars that you can walk in and out of. So I'm hoping that those are going to become at some point interactive, where you can start purchasing those items. And they also said a while back, when they were giving subscribers the models, the mini models that you put up on the displays in your hangar, they said you'd be able to find them in stores and you'd be able to shop for ones that weren't being given away as subscriber gifts. So there's plenty of stuff that's supposedly coming down the line.
I just want to mention that he does specifically say the first version of Lorville, and the Lorville Business District has been split out to 3.4. So I think some of the shops, at least, will be waiting another 3 months. But I think all of the stuff we already have will be in there for sure.
Okay,
They did say on Calling All Devs last week, sorry, Eris, they were looking at the bar experience as the first iteration of the new AI for interaction with using the voice and in a thought system was up for debate. So we might start to see different NPCs that aren't trying to shoot you, just trying to give a service. So we might see a barman.
So
inferior, of course, to Astro.
I like this next question. The original Grib says, based on comments made by Dan Truffin, the Mercury is not the best place to smuggle due to its size, but who else got the impression that they're planning a larger smuggling ship? I would like to theorize here for a second and say that they might not be planning another smuggling ship. They might instead be adding lots of smuggling capabilities to something like the Banu Merchantman.
I was actually you basically stole my point.
Yeah,
the Banu,
I did.
The Banu don't really give a shit about laws much, especially when it comes to trade. And I very highly, especially given its armament, I very highly suspect that the merchantman will be used a lot for smuggling.
Well, I also caught what they were saying in RTV about modular rooms aboard ships.
Yeah.
And they were using the Retaliator as an example. But the first thing and the only thing that came to mind, even when they said the words Retaliator, was Caterpillar. Yep. Because Drake Interplanetary, and it's going to have how many different kinds of modular room options?
Tons.
I would not be surprised if they came out with a cargo module, an alternative cargo module that had these built-in smuggling hidey holes, and even possibly, the habitation module or the med bay or any number of other modules that they come out for it.
And I have to say, considering that it's all the same manufacturer and none of their other ships are made, you might actually start seeing some smuggling compartments making it into things like the Genesis Starliner.
Oh, yeah. True. That's a good point.
Yeah, we're carrying passengers, but we got some special items on the side, right? Like,
don't look in your overhead bin.
Exactly.
And Dan was also saying that the more you carry in your legitimate cargo hold, the harder it is for them to scan things in these smaller smuggling compartments that are even more heavily shielded. So something like the Starliner would make a lot of sense, because you're going to be carrying a lot of cargo, a lot of luggage, all kinds of things. And so it would make sense that they would kind of sneak those hidey holes in there. It's a good point.
Does anyone ever get the feeling that Star Citizen covers everything?
Yes. I think everyone gets that feeling.
Okay,
No.
I'm waiting for the RTS, but that's probably going to come with fleet commanding.
There are no roller coasters.
Dirk,
Yet.
yes, I 100% suggested repurposing the Starliner into a slave transportation ship. 100%.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I think should be done with it.
It really just depends on how you use it, because immediately the first thing that popped into my head was the transport ship from Judge Dredd, where they had just have people sitting row after row after row, and they have the systems that clamp them down into the chairs, and then on top of that they're all cuffed up. So if you have them cuffed up and locked into their seats, it's as good as.
I want the transport ship from Riddick.
Actually, the only thing that they're missing are the oars, and that's how you get through space.
Actually, it's powered by pedals. They're all on bikes, and they have to pedal to make it go. The Ronin 42 asks, "What do you think? How do you think we're going to move in the smuggle tunnels in the Mercury? Do you think it'll be crouched, prone, standing?"
I wouldn't be surprised if it was crouched or prone, because they said it's 1.25 meter compartment. John Crew put that out. And if those are for spare parts, then you're going to have a way of being able to carry it. And I can see you crouching and carrying something, but I can't see you prone and being able to drag it across the floor.
That seems unlikely. Yeah, I think crouching is probably your most likely there.
Brivos has another good one. What is the point of the Herald with the Mercury now available? And I'm going to paraphrase from an extremely popular British man. I can't pull off quite his ugliness, but I'm going to try. More speed!
Yeah. Well, that, and more importantly, I mean, you can ask the same question about any of them. What's the point of the Prospector if the Orion exists?
Each have got pros and cons.
Yeah. The Herald is smaller and faster. It's not going to be noticed as much, which is very important for a data runner. It is faster, which is very important for a data runner. And the other thing they actually mentioned is that, you're going to be kind of reluctant in the Mercury to take smaller data running missions because you have such a huge data bank.
Yeah.
Whereas the Herald will be like, oh, I got this juicy little piece of information, and off it goes.
The Herald is...
Herald is one man as well, compared with the Mercury's multi-crew, so you're splitting your profit straight away with the Mercury.
Yeah.
You guys are also overlooking something else about the Herald that I think is really important, and what makes it stand out from any other ship so far. The Herald is a ship that is... It's a transformer of sorts, because it turns into a transceiver satellite dish, and that allows it to be able to transmit and or receive from much further distances. Whereas with the Mercury, you're going to have to be in a fairly close to medium range in order to pick up. And the closer you are, the higher the quality it's going to be. Whereas the Herald can just do it from across an asteroid field or something. It'll have the distance.
The Herald...
If you could set up your own chain, you use the Mercury to get the information first. The Mercury relays it, to the Herald.
What a good name.
You've just got heralds until it gets to the last point, and then you've got this data entry that can just be, relatively fast across the universe.
Yeah.
One thing
I
that
could
I
see
think
that
is
happening.
kind of important,
and
one benefit that the Mercury has is actually that you can steal a whole bunch of data in the Mercury, and it's sitting on your 5 computers, but you're just cargo hauling. You've got a completely 100% legitimate cargo. Nothing smuggled, nothing hidden. All the information's on your computers, and it's going to take longer to check computers than it does to check cargo. So all your cargo is legitimate, and you can use it. I mean,
and then all the data is also encrypted, so it's even harder to actually.
Well, the data will be
encrypted.
The data will be encrypted on both of them, but here's the difference that I see between the two that should be a serious consideration for someone who really is interested and focusing on data running. The Herald has a majority of its data storage banks on the exterior. So if you get shot up, there's a chance that one of those data banks could be lost. Whereas the Mercury carries everything internally. So they really have to work their way through the hull to get to those computers and blast those computers apart.
My thing is, good luck shooting a Herald.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
Okay, let's.
We got more.
Yeah, we got some more. Renegade Shank asks, do you think we'll be able to trap people in the Mercury smuggling area and vent it separately, killing or incapacitating boarders? If I was boarding someone else's ship, I'd probably have a full spacesuit on, just saying.
Always.
But capture them in there? Possibly until they blow the fuck out of the door.
They did confirm, and Sarah McCulloch was like bouncing in her chair confirming, yes, you can trap people in the ventilation system. However, there are no access points from the ventilation system directly to the outside of the ship. So I don't know that there's a way for you to depressurize it.
No, you can't. And they actually touched on that because you also can't dump your the cargo you're smuggling either.
Yeah.
Right.
For
you
the
could
same
do that
reason.
with the regular hold. But
yes, you can do it with the regular hold, but your smuggled cargo is stuck there. In fact, they were actually talking about how when you're being boarded and examined by customs, you might actually have to have one of your crew members like moving the smuggled cargo around from one spot to another while they're looking.
Yeah.
Or just grab the smuggled cargo, take it into a vent, and hope that they don't check that vent. Like, it'll be interesting to see. Brivals asks, do you think that 3.3 will be released to PTU at or near CitizenCon, or do you think 3.3 will be subs concierge first wave by the time CitizenCon happens? I'm going to say that they're going to do a launch at CitizenCon. They're going to sit there, and at the end of CitizenCon, they're going to say, okay, we've shown you some 3.3. We've talked about this, talked about that. 3.3 is now live for everyone. Go nuts.
So we know for a fact that their goal is to release it live by CitizenCon, but I think that is going to depend very heavily on how things go during the ETF phase of PTU testing.
Yes.
If they go to ETF and it turns out that it's taking a lot longer because there are more bugs than they expected, they might not be able to meet that deadline, and so you might end up, instead of a live launch at CitizenCon, just a first or second wave PTU launch at CitizenCon. It's really going to depend on how quickly they can work through the bugs.
It really depends. Yeah, it really depends on whether OCS works smoothly or not.
I'm with Astro. I really hope that they launch to all backers at CitCon. Personally.
Oh, me too.
PTU.
Me too. Even if it's all backers PTU, but regardless, I actually I'm going to switch on my put on my optimistic pants again. I think they got it. They're 56% complete right now for the patch. I think they'll put it to Evocati probably in 2 weeks, and then they'll have a month.
Yeah.
I think unless something major goes wrong, I think they can hit live.
Yeah, same.
At CitizenCon.
Gambler423 asks, do you think that the Terrapin is way overpriced, $220, versus something like the Connie Andromeda and the Mercury, $225, for the difference in size and use? Absolutely not. The Terrapin has nothing at all to do with what the Connie or the Mercury do. The Terrapin is one of the most highly armored ships in the game. It is an exploration and science vehicle. It's the vehicle that you send into the heart of a dying neutron star to take measurements, because guess fucking what? It doesn't give a shit. It's a motherfucking turtle. It will withstand the pressure of a collapsing black hole. That is the Terrapin. The Terrapin
win in a race with a hare.
I actually completely agree with everything you said, except for maybe some of the hyperbole. But
no hyperbole at all. What are you talking about?
I'm not entirely sure that it has that level of survivability, because the only thing that they've said that has a survivability rating around that high is the front section that detaches from the Endeavour spine.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's supposed to be able to go in close proximity to sun coronas and all that stuff. But that is really exactly what you're paying for. You're paying for the excessive quantities of armor. You're paying for probably one of the most advanced scanning systems in the entire game outside of the Endeavor. And it seems like it's a lot for what is essentially a one-man ship, but there's the potentiality that you could push it into a two-man crew. You just have to rotate in terms of who's sleeping in the bed.
Yeah.
What's the fun in that?
The other thing that we haven't really talked about is that one of the things it's going to be used for is that it can kind of, without being able to do a whole lot to stop it, explore areas that are dangerous because they are pirate infested or Vanduul infested, or
The Terrapin is a very long range ship. The Mercury is most definitely a get from point A to point B ship, whereas the Terrapin you can just leave it in the middle of space and no one gives a shit. It's going to survive.
All the exploration ships are like that.
And another thing that the Terrapin has going for it with that armor set is that the armor also helps to reduce your heat signature, and you can manually vent your heat anytime you need to, so you can time it to go around the ping and scan of whatever ships are trying to catch you. And you could probably even use that to sort of for lack of a better term, leave a decoy. You vent your heat in one spot right after they ping for you, and then you move to a different location after closing those vents, and so they're going to pick up that heat spot and they're going to go after that heat spot instead of where you're headed. There's a bunch of gameplay to go with it, and stealth is one of those features that it has that the Mercury clearly does not.
Next question here. Brivals asks, can the freelancers still jump through small jump points?
Supposedly.
Hopefully.
We don't know.
We don't know.
The jump point thing, I think the end of next year we might start getting into that. I would like to see jump. Actually, that would be, if they really want to surprise us at CitizenCon, that would be an awesome thing to see there.
Absolutely.
What are you laughing about?
Just some crazy bastard.
Flynn.
Who did what?
Some crazy bastard.
Oh. Well, yeah, people are crazy.
Cool. Yeah.
What?
I'm just checking my relay email.
Yes, you are late, Stormy.
Someone might have just sent me a Mercury.
Oh, congratulations.
Hey, that would be awesome. Nice gift.
Enjoy your brand new ship.
I don't understand if he's upset about it or happy about it.
Yes, he is.
Yes. And he's a little bit sorry as well, because he's...
I'm so sorry.
See?
I feel bad.
Why do you feel bad?
Because I got one and other people didn't.
Well,
this thing's probably going to be on sale till like
You have-
the last
you have-
days before CitizenCon. Why are you
you have
sorry?
beer?
Ample
You have-
opportunity.
you have beer and other people don't have beer. Are you going to buy beer for everyone? I don't think so.
Yes.
No.
Do you want to do a happy dance? Shad Turk says you should do a happy dance. You know that pen, pineapple, apple guy? Do that dance.
What? What dance? I
The
don't.
pen, pineapple, apple, pen thing.
Pineapple, apple, pen?
Pen, pineapple, apple, pen. How do you not know this?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Shiver. Shit. Can I
So-
hide under something? Just gonna Excuse me for a second.
Should we get on with the questions?
Yeah,
Well,
Question. Last question. Oh, we have a last. Oh, we're right at the end anyway. But one more question: will there possibly be a docking system for the Herald to the front of the Mercury on the open section? Asks Renegade Shank.
I don't think they have any plans for ship-to-ship docking right now, specifically with the Mercury. A similar question was asked in a joking way during the RTV, whether or not the Mercury would be able to magnetically clamp to the back of a large capital ship and hide.
That's funny.
And they said that there are no plans for something like that right now, but if they did, it would be a component that you would have to purchase and place in the ship, and then any ship that can fit that particular component would be able to do something like that. But in terms of specifically Herald to Mercury, they haven't said anything about it. I would think that it's just transmission, a cyber link versus an actual physical connection between the two ships.
Yep. What you said. You said that very well. I got nothing to add to that. The only thing I would say is that because the two manufacturers are different, I very highly doubt there would be a specialized way for the Drake Herald to dock to the Crusader Mercury. Like a specifically designed way for those specific...
Shut up, Stormy. I'm trying to...
We've done the question now.
I'm trying to turn my mind back on, because I know something about this. They talked about it in RTV. They said they said something in passing, basically saying that the ships don't have to be touching to transfer data, but they have to be somewhat near each other. Like there's going to be a range for transferring data. It's probably going to be kind of like Pokemon used to work when trading without a link cable with the IR, and you had to like place. I'm gonna do this with bow ties and you had to like place them just right so the two IR things would talk to each other.
They also said that you have to have the appropriate hardware on board ship to not only transmit and receive, but also to encrypt and decrypt.
Yeah, that also.
But it can be done with something that hasn't necessarily got the same.
Yeah, right over there, David.
But it's going to take a lot longer.
Right.
Which I thought that was a really interesting bit of gameplay because, you say you're receiving this and you haven't actually got the proper equipment set up, you're going to be sat there sweating, going, I'm getting this classified information at any point I can be attacked, and if I so much as move, it's great.
That also begs a question. If the recipient doesn't have the appropriate hardware for decryption, that, in my mind, means that you have to decrypt it before transmitting. And if there's anyone in range who could pick up that transmission, it's a non-secure line at that point. So they could steal it as you're giving it away. Or selling it off.
How you doing over there, David?
Broken.
I think, he was broken.
Yeah, I'm a little broken. I was sitting here thinking of what I could melt for a Mercury, because it is a damn sexy ship, and
now you don't
have to.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Grumpy Eris is gone right now, which is weird. I don't know where he's gone, and it feels strange not having Grumpy Eris around. Quite frankly. No, to the person that sent me that, thank you very much. Yeah, it was really nice. Thank you. To everyone else, I'm going to turn myself back on right now because we've reached the end of the show. That's all of our questions. I didn't even have to sing show tunes. You guys disappoint me literally every single week. I just want to sing some Hamilton.
You're not allowed to, you know that, right?
But yes, I know I'm not allowed. But you know what? one of these days I'm gonna. Actually, no, I'm probably not going to. But I probably will drunkenly at CitizenCon because no one's gonna be able to stop me there. I do just want to sing. I love singing.
Except Lando, who picks you up and runs off down the street with you still singing.
Dude, Shiver, Lando would join in. Lando is like a trained opera singer. He would join in with me.
When you say he would join in, don't you mean he would show you up?
Oh, 100%.
I have heard him do Pirates of Dance before. He's damn good at it.
He is freaking good. Lando is a talented man. And I really hope that he never sees this because I've never said this. But he is a talented.
Sorry, no one watches this.
Yeah, I know. So yeah,
we're good. We're good, especially CIG people.
That said, join us. We are done for this week. Thank you so much for hanging out. You better all go and check out in 2 hours from now. I can't find
Captain's Table.
Yeah, the Captain's Table. Let me just type that in. There we go. The Captain's Table with Paul, the Astropub Shelley. He's going to show us up in literally every single way possible. Nighthawk is going to be there because Nighthawk has basically gone from missing in action entirely to being literally everywhere at all times, and we can't get rid of him even if we wanted to, which we don't really want to. Thank you, Nighthawk.
I mean, it's a pleasure to be back. I'm just glad I have enough time to be here and hang out with you guys and have these great conversations, laugh as much as I do, and I look forward to more of it.
Ooh, Moist.
Your checks in the post.
Moist, HC, and Darge are going to be on the pub as well. I do know that anytime Darge is on, things get a little sloppy. So go check that out. The Astropub is fantastic. I'm actually going to ask Mr. Paul if I can be on next week's show because I need me some Astropub in my life soon.
You're going on next week?
I might.
Oh, well, there goes my idea.
Wait, what was your idea?
Nothing.
You can both be on the...
I mean, you could go on next week, too.
Well, you could go on next week, too.
What if we all went on and just Relay invaded
we
the
can
Astro
have
pub?
a Relay pub.
Don't allow
that would
Paul.
be sans me, then.
Don't do it. There is one other thing I do want to remind people. We are going to be having another episode of our new show here at Relay, episode 2 of Relay Space. What the hell are we covering this Tuesday? It's Tuesday.
We are covering. So we're covering basically. Go ahead.
Tuesday at like what, 9 p.m. Eastern?
9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
So 6 p.m. Pacific. We're covering sort of a few more notes on the current status of SpaceX, and then the future of SpaceX, and also how do you survive in outer space? You know, on Mars, on the moon. What is required? We're
going to start the how do you survive talk.
Yes.
We will probably not get all the way through it until a third episode, but please.
Potatoes, isn't it?
Yeah, 100% potatoes all the way. You breathe them, you eat them, you bathe in them, you sleep in them, and you are them. We are all potatoes.
They'll be eating them next.
To all of you potatoes out there, and from all of us potatoes here at Relay,
have a good day.
Yeah.
On the potatoes thing, apologies to Wee Hamster.
Thank you, everyone, for hanging out and watching, and thank you to all you crazy bastards.
It's a good show.
I would not change a damn thing about this community.
Nope.
We'll see you around.